Ka Sorkar Jylla kan pyntreikam kirukom pule balatip kum ki digital learning hakaktin nungway haki skul Sorkar naduh mentau snem arjar arwar. Ya kane la pentip do menteri bedikmi ya kanat pule dangle ka Sorkar Jylla ba lakwen rumboy hapajubab ya ka jingkli na ka MLA East Shillong Dr. Amprin Lingdo hakakenta kli jingkli haka sibalai ka dorbar mangtengka joko yeng dorbar thawain ka Jylla ka pratrik luber. Ka MLA ka lakwa pentip ka sinjam thamai ka Sorkar Jylla na ka banta ka pule dangle haka Jylla dien ka jingsakta kaklam COVID-19. Haba banjur ya ka jingtmu ka longman penbiang ikilat pule dangle. Ubah rumboy ulong babaro ki skul Sorkar ken haban pyntreikam ya ki professional learning communities haus nam arjar arwar. Ulong bahaus nam arjar arwar ki rukom ban penbiang penben on pyntreikam ban smuthu ya jingtmu bat ya kathom.
Mr. Speaker, sir, reply to start question 17A. Yes, sir. B. Sir, a meeting was convened by the Director Educational Research and Training on 8 March 2021 before the start of academic year 2021. C. Yes, sir.
Honorable Speaker, sir, Ministry of Education has indicated in a recently conducted research that 3.5 children are currently out of school, including those who dropped out during the pandemic. 17% of these have dropped out of the higher secondary school level of education. 10 million girls, the report says, are at risk of dropping out of school. May I know whether or not the Department of Education, Government of Meghalaya, has conducted any research to identify these problems in the state of Meghalaya?
Sir, the full academic session just started. Then we are seeking the report from all the district to study whether there is a dropout, and if there is a dropout, how much, and how to address this problem. We from the department are doing that, sir.
Sir, at 17B of the principal question and the reply of the Honourable Minister, he says that there was a meeting held. May we be privy to the resolutions and decisions taken on the following this crucial meeting?
In this meeting, which was held on the 8th of March 2021, it is decided that the academic calendar will be extended so that whatever the period or the days lost by the student could be covered.
Sir, at the principal reply to 17C, the Sustained Development Goals has recommended that the department should identify vulnerable groups. Number 2, that financial aid should be provided to students across the country, and that special academic support sessions should be initiated, and that there should be a provision for teachers to undergo adequate training to adapt to the new normal. May I know whether the Honourable Education Minister of the State of Meghalaya is aware of these challenges of the Sustainable Development Goals?
Mr. Speaker, sir, we are aware of the challenges in this sustainable goal.
Honourable Speaker, sir, may I request the Honourable Minister of Education to share on the floor of this August House some of the plans that the department has to achieve these goals.
Mr. Speaker, sir, to achieve this goal, in 2022, all schools will establish the professional learning communities, which are school-based teacher teams in all government and common-aided schools to identify the learning gaps through daily lessons and formative assessment. At present, there are more than 800 schools with functional PLC. The timeline to complete this is across 22. Number 2, dissemination of common grade-wise weekly plans based on the learning outcome to help guide the teachers through systematic support system to students. Timeline is from March to September 2022. Number 3, implementation of assessment reform through the new assessment cell in the DERT that will help identify grade and subject-wise learning targets and progress of individual student through school-based assessment. Timeline is April 2022 onwards. Number 4, preparation of supplementary grade material, accredited material. These are the ongoing process. And number 5, dissemination of learning material through the digital mode, Doordarshan Kendra, Geo TV, All India Radio, DERT YouTube channel, and offline mode through Teachers Network. The timeline throughout 2022. Number 6, a scheme for upgradation of DERT studio and equipment has been sanctioned for e-content creation, educational program development for telecast and broadcasting. 7, documentation and sharing of innovative practice through DERT Documentation Center for sharing of an innovative practice of school teachers across the state. The program has been sanctioned under the state scheme and the timeline is 2022. Besides this, sir, the capacity building and training, identification and training of educational volunteers to act as guide teachers in remote areas to support the continuous learning. Timeline, June 2022. Capacity building of teachers to address learning loss through the training of teachers on using learning outcome to identify the most essential skills and knowledge that the student need to succeed in all grade level in each given unit and subject. Timeline is from March 2022 onwards. Then all teachers, school head, school managing committee members, education officers to complete the training program on addressing learning loss on Diksha online platform. Timeline is September 2022. 11, adopting and adapting bridge courses developed by NCRT for mainstreaming students will be held by the DERT and the timeline is across 2022.
Yeah, Judge. Sir, considering the fact that our children will be going back to their schools and some of them have already gone back to schools, but then there are still vacancies in schools due to dependency of the appointment of the teachers following the MTET exams. How much more time, sir, will it take for the appointments to be completed so that at least there will be teachers in schools when the children return to the school, sir?
The process is on, sir, and we will complete as early as possible. We are also understand that this is a problem across the state, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is indeed appropriate to discuss the changing nature of tension within the state about the educations. But the school dropout will definitely added to the unemployment, which is deteriorating situation within the state. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, now our minister has replied about all sorts of, all sorts of steps that has been taken by the education department, like equipment for teaching, training, capacity building, online platform, so and so on the teaching line. It's a good thing that the education department is taking on that step. But what of the infrastructure? Now, within this gap, 2 years, now desks and benches, which our students used to sit, now they are not there anymore. It's been, somebody has stolen and it's been destroyed. So most of the schools, especially in the villages, maximum of the benches and then, the benches and then chairs are not there. So how do we address them? Like I was trying to give some from my SRWP, but for all over the area, because I've got more than 100 villages are there in my constituency itself where I cannot address them. So I would like to request through you, Mr. Honorable Speaker, sir, that if those desks and benches can be provided to those schools which are not there right now.
There is no report like that till now regarding that, so we will seek a report soon.
Sir, since I brought this to the House, I'm reporting directly and indirectly also. So I've got in my Rumrang Para school, 2 Rumrang Para school. If I name them, like almost all the LP school within my constituency, sir. So I think others might have the same also. So I'm reporting this to you, this very, nature of tension that is having right now in my area also. Ramrang Para School, Mebet Para School, Mibon Para School, Chili Para School. If I name them, it will be more than 100, sir. So kindly look into this matter. Thank you, sir.
We will look into this matter, sir.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Time and again, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir. I've been raising the same issues relating to the condition of the buildings of the LP schools in my constituency, sir. I have written a DO letter to the Additional Chief Secretary in charge education as well, and I've highlighted all the problems of the buildings and the lack of infrastructures. I'm given to understand that a certain amount of money has been earmarked by the department for the repair of these LP school buildings. But sir, I'd like to know from the Honourable Minister whether there are schools that have been listed, which I have given specifically in my letter to the department, whether are they going to be under the repairs in this coming year, sir?
So for that reply, it is not related with this principal question, so I require notice, sir.
Yes, Comrade Lin.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it is good to hear from the Minister in charge that the government is contemplating to address the issues of the problems of the schools, be it LP school, secondary school or higher secondary schools. But I will refer only for the Dadinguri subdivision, which is in which we are facing problem because of MTET, and I have the figures where the schools, the government has already given out the order yesterday on 7th March to start the academic sessions. And however, under Dadinguri subdivision, it is very, very pathetic because we are still having teacher-less schools. 23 numbers of schools are teacher-less because here the teachers are all under contractual system, and the result of MTET and the appointment process is still pending for 184 teachers. So I do not understand how the department is going to tackle this problem of when the government has given the order to start the schools, to open the restart the session, but the schools, the fate of the students of the schools, of these 23 schools in under Dadinguri subdivision, they don't have teacher at all. And coming to the infrastructure, schools, buildings.
Please ask one question at a time. One question at a time. One question at a time. One question
more, sir. Let me just complete
at a time.
The infrastructure.
You can come up in the next one. You can come up again and ask the second question. Now you can put just one question, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Minister, please.
Thank you.
Sir, the advertisement for recruitment of posts in Dadinguri civil subdivision is already there, and recruitment process is on, and we hope that we will able to do in a very short possible time, sir.
You wish to ask the second question? You may put the
Sir,
second.
this is regarding the infrastructures. Almost all the government LP schools and non-government LP schools, the infrastructures are in a very dilapidated condition. However, this government has taken initiative. So few schools, out of that 100 schools which the government has taken up, it has been able to, we have come up with the new construction, reconstruction of the schools, but almost the 90% is still in a very bad condition where the atmosphere is not congenial for the children to go and study in such condition.
Okay,
so, sir, if you can look into that, look into this problem also, where the children can go and have a correct atmosphere to go and study. It will be more attractive. Otherwise, now it is no better than the cow sheds in most of the villages, in most of the LP schools mostly. Thank you, sir.
We are addressing these issues.
Now we,
Excuse me, sir. So one question, please, sir.
yes, Mr. Mohammed.
Honorable Speaker, sir, may I know from the Honorable Minister that whether the government has any plans to extend the appointment of 59 teachers till the regular appointment is made?
I have already replied, the process is on, sir. So within a very short possible time.
No, sir, this is the question relating to the extension of the 59 teachers appointment. They are already appointed as 59 teachers. Since the new MTED teachers are not yet appointed, whether these teachers, service of these teachers shall be extended. 59 days.
Sir, I have already replied that we will do the needful in a very short possible time. So action will be taken in a very possible time. What way, how it's be done, so we will do it in a permanent possible way, sir.
Yes, Basin.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honourable Minister has said that the appointment process, recruitment process is on to fill up the teachers in the 23 teacherless schools. So how long it will take, the process of appointment, so that the ultimate appointment will be done, so that the students in these schoolless teachers, teacherless schools, 23 schools also will get the teachers.
Sir, I have already replied to the advertisement for the recruitment of teachers. The degree subdivision have been floated, and the last date have been already completed, and the process on. I hope that within a very short possible time, we will do the needful we will complete this process, sir.
No, tentative timeline, sir. Tentative timeline as to how long it will take.
If there is no issue in between, within 1 month, we will be able to complete. But if there is any other issue beyond which or control that I cannot say, but to fulfill the need of the student, we will explore whatever possible way to see that there is a teacher in the schools.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Sir, for last preceding 2 years, children were out of school. Children must be in the school. I think that is the attempt that we are all doing. Here, a number of schools are without teachers, as can be understood from the replies of the minister. Now, if there is a gap between the actual appointment of the teacher, in view of the replies to the last supplementary, 1 or 2 months, what is the duration of time that will be required by the department to ensure that teachers are posted? During the interim period, what are the measures being taken by the government to ensure that there are teachers and the students can go to the school? The interim measures. We understand that the regular appointment will take time, but what about the interim measures?
Sir, honorable member is very much aware the problem of the schools relating to the appointment of the teachers in the last many years. It is very difficult to do it in one go, but having said that, we have tried to streamline, and we want that any solution to come up should be done is a permanent solution. And after doing this, then all these measures, which a temporary measure, we will do. But since, as I said before, that the process is on, whether in other subdivision also, we have seen that in the last year, we have appointed permanent teachers in the schools, but there are some districts which there is a shortage of the qualified teachers. So from the department to fulfill the criteria, we have already conducted the MTED, and then the process for appointment of in this vacant post is on. So I request the Honorable to bear with the department in this, so that in this short possible time, so that any solution, anything we do, it is a permanent solution. Because after that, then we will do the needful. Otherwise, if we try to do the continue the process of on and off, so the thing will never end and complication will be more. So this is my humble request, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the Minister did not get my question. Now the process will take time, as can be comprehended from the replies of the Minister. What about that interim period? Will the children will be asked to go to the school in absence of teachers? Or will there be an interim measure? That is the question I'm asking. If you take 2 months or 3 months, or is the Minister in a position to tell a specific date when the teachers will be in position? If the Minister cannot say what is the measure that is going to be taken up by the government, by the department, to ensure that teachers are there during this interim period, so that the children of those schools can also start attending schools, attending classes. Now there are instances of schools. If the Minister can have a review district-wise, probably you will understand. For instance, one school, Koknal Among, in East Garo Hills, teacher's appointment has not been there for more than 1 year. We are talking about free and compulsory education. We are talking about constitutional obligation. So, this is the pathetic condition in respect of the measures being taken. It's okay, interim measures cannot be taken. Therefore, will the children of those difficult areas where they do not have access to even private schools will be subjected to this deprivation? That is the reason why I'm asking about this interim measure. Please understand the gravity of the situation. What is the interim measure that the government will take? We know that the regular appointment will take time. It is common sense.
Sir, in any appointment, there is a process which application have to be called, and then scrutiny of the application will be there, and then the conduct of the interview or exam, as the case maybe will be done. But having said that, we have already collected all the vacancy in different subdivision of the state, so that the process, so that we'll start the process, so that the process could be complete as early as possible, sir.